I thought that a lot of good things happened in that game. I look back at halftime, and our big philosophy: 60 by 2, 60% of the scoring comes from two guys, and Sims, Lewis, and Agusi. Agusi's averaging 18.5 over in his conference play, and Lewis, their leading scorer, and Sims. Is about to be their all-time leading three-point shooter and averaging about 13. Those guys had 0 field goals between the three of them. Julian Washburn did an unbelievable job out front on Agusi. It's third consecutive game where he's guarded a point guard at 6'8". And I can't tell you how hard that is to do, how great your feet have to be to do it. But he's initiating for us out front in a way that we haven't had our defense initiated from the guys behind. CJ appears to be really out of his funk and playing really well in terms of his decision making. He's stepping in with confidence, shooting the ball like we know he can shoot it. Our big guys, Matt Wilm has 8 boards. John Bohannon has 1 field goal in the first half, but doesn't get outside of himself. Doesn't start, turning it over, trying to do too much, and has a really nice 10 minutes to start the second half. Vince Hunter is a shaky first 2 or 3 minutes, plays outstanding from that point on. Created some offense off of defense, which is starting to happen for him. He's starting to recognize there's baskets by playing really hard on the defensive end, coming through passes, and just getting better and better. It was nice to get Hooper, Tevin, Jake, and Aaron extended minutes tonight because we're going to need them as we proceed. And I was glad that Aaron could finish the game. He's sure he's a little nervous. First time he's been out there that many people in his life, and he made a mistake first time he touched it in the first half. But I thought settled down and played better in the second half. Julian Washburn is playing really well right now, and in all areas, defensively, offensively, has just been terrific. So. It's fun to come to practice right now. I think our fans, I sensed, really liked what they're seeing in terms of their energy in the building. It was great to see that many people come out and respond to a team in serious transition right now. We're not out of the woods. And let me tell you, there are going to be nights where they're saying, what the hell's going on? You're not doing anything. Could happen. But as long as we continue to play inspired on the defensive end, it gives us a chance. We're doing some nice things right now on both ends. 10 turnovers is a great stat.
You get the sense that your locker room is they've responded well together, that they're just even more together after.
I absolutely do. I think the first couple of games it was in fear. We better get together or it's going to get really, really ugly. Insecurity, I would say, drove some effort. Okay. But we're getting better, more cohesive offensively. And Julian's doing a great job as a secondary ball handler to CJ, something that probably most people wouldn't notice, but we don't have another ball handler out there. Jake Flaggart, he doesn't do much in the first half, but the game doesn't get worse. It gets better when he gets in there because he doesn't turn it over and is making solid plays, and then he makes a couple plays in the second half. Those things are real encouraging right now. And our freshmen, I really think have played beyond their freshman year at this point in the season. Matt Wilm is starting to come back as a result of starting the last couple of games. He's getting his head up. Cedric deferred, told me that he thought it would help Matt to come if he came off the bench and let Matt start because he's a freshman. That was important to him. You see a play there with Hooper Vent late, gets the ball off the board. He hadn't scored much himself. He hadn't played much. He hadn't played in 3 games. But he wants Tyler to score, so he kicks it back out versus shooting it. I mean, there's no agendas right now other than winning. And basically there's only 2 kinds of players, those with agendas and those without. And we'd prefer to have those without. Those are the guys that'll do the hard things, and that's what we're doing right now.
Coach, I was really impressed that you could score 42 points in the paint, a lot of that against the zone.
Yeah, this little offense that Phil Johnson stuck out there for 6 minutes in the shoot-around before Marshall, it really helped us. It's allowed us to play 3 big guys, and it's been effective. And we used it for about a 7-minute stretch in the second half and just kept laying it up. It's been really good.
You had mentioned about having Jones in there for the rest of the game. Kind of talk about what you've been doing to kind of keep them so that they can catch up with the rest of the team.
Well, there's no substitute for a little game experience. Bob Stoll recruited him, and he had to be embarrassed about his first 2 possessions as a minor, as an air ball and a turnover. But I think he should feel better that he played better the last 6 or 7 minutes. He can go through practice, but when you're playing in front of 400 people in a high school game, and you've been playing football, you don't have basketball legs. Basketball is a much more demanding sport than football because we don't have a huddle. You don't get to huddle for 35 seconds. You have to react. You have to actually think and play on your own. Those things are all new to him right now, and particularly against better, higher level athletes. So, those minutes will really help him. Those minutes. What's that?
So you're not smiling when you say that.
Oh no, it's so true. It's so true.
And so, how do you feel that he did today?
I thought he did just fine, just fine. I thought those minutes were really big for him there at the end. They were full court pressing, and you're thinking, okay, he got a chance to spit this, but he didn't. He didn't against the press there in the second half. Did a nice job. He just got to get us into play without turning it over. He just got to get us into a defense. He goes out there and fouls late at 80, 75 feet. We don't want to do that. It's just stuff that that we'll continue to emphasize and show him film, and hopefully he'll get a little better.
Coach, talk about what getting win number 400 in your career means to you.
Well, I'm damn near 60 years old. You better, you're not going to be coaching. You better, you're not going to be coaching anywhere. You'll be at another level. You ought to compile a few wins along the way.
Players dumped Gatorade on him.
Yeah.
Go ahead and miss the layup, though he did get his head.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm shirtless under here, which would be a really ugly sight if I hadn't had this jacket. So.
Do you remember Coach's 400th win?
I do. I was here for I think 3 and 4, and in fact I have one of those game balls. He sent me one of those game balls. I can't remember which one it was, 400 or I have it in my office at my house, and it's one of my prized possessions. But we've had really, really good players, and we got some really good players right now that are emerging. And if our guards can play at this level, we got a chance to win a few more games down the stretch here.
You guys are really unselfish out there, and not that you haven't been before, but is that emphasized even more now?
I feel like everybody been playing a lot of unselfish basketball. Our main priority is defense, and lately we've been able to get steals and get out and get easy dunks and layups, and that's helping us a lot because we're gonna have to play against a set defense every possession. So. I'm sorry, I got a little cold.
You enjoy going against the point guard all the time?
Yeah. For some reason, I like going to point guard more than other players on the court. Because I don't know. I just like heating people up while they come up the court. If not, sometimes I get lazy on defense. And so I'm glad coaches let me go out point guards every game.
Julian, sometimes you'll see a guy play lockdown defense and you won't have much left on the offensive end of the court. You had 19 points.
Yeah, I'm trying to become the best two-way player I can, and I'm just happy shots is falling because I'm gonna have to make shots in order for teams stop playing this 2-3 and play as man, and my teammates are doing a great job of finding me wide open, and I'm just doing the easy part like I always say. I'm just making the shot.
CJ, you're getting an awful lot of minutes out there, and you seem to have elevated your game.
Yeah, I have to. Coach told me that I'm going to play a big role in this team. We don't have a lot of guards, so, I have to step up and play big, so.
That can go 2 ways when the coach asks you to step up. Some guys kind of fold under that kind of pressure. You seem to have elevated your game.
Yeah. I think I've been ready. This whole time. I think my junior year was my year to come up, step up and play big. So, I was ready for the challenge when he told me I had to step up.
I was really impressed with how quickly you were able to get the ball into the block against these guys.
Oh, yeah. that's something we really focused on in practice. We want to get our big guys involved. So, we've been practicing the last week or so. So, it was a big emphasis on what we wanted to do.